I'm joined with Margate manager and player Ben Greenhalgh after what would be a frustrating 0-0 draw at home in our opening league game against East Grinstead. Ben, can you sum up your thoughts for us today?
I thought it was a really dominant performance. It's a tough one to take because you want to get a winning start, you want to get 3 points. I've just said in the change room there, I'm all over, everything is all about results, it's about 3 points, but I think when you look at a season and you want to have a good season, you've got to put the performances in. We've done that today. It's probably one of the most dominant performances I've been a part of. And you've got to give East Grinstead credit. They got behind the ball, they made it compact, gave us space out wide, which we knew was likely to happen. And I thought we worked out, we got 22 crosses in the box, 19 good crosses. We worked 14 shots at goal. And we missed some absolute sitters, if we're being honest. And that's not anything against our players, because any other day they'll score them. So I'm not going to be negative towards any of our players. It's just frustrating to take that it only took one of them to go in to come off here with a 1-0 performance and like we said, a really dominating performance. But if we look at the full season, performances matter, and those performances need to become wins and will become wins if we keep doing that week in, week out.
Yeah, like you say, we dominated the large part of the game, which is something we haven't seen from Margate for quite a while now. Is that kind of a silver lining from today, the fact that we can go against these teams in the league below from where we was last season and actually put in a dominant performance?
Yeah, definitely. It was always going to be difficult. People think we're going to bounce straight back up, and I think people are going to come to us like East Grinstead did today and sort of sit in and defend. And that's always, we see it with Man City on the TV all the time. It's about breaking teams down, and frustratingly we did break them down, but they defended for their lives in the box. And you've got to give them credit, they counter-attacked a couple of times, and brilliant save from Tom as well, which it could have been a really negative performance considering how dominant things were. But I think we've got to somehow take the positives. We know we've got players that will score, we know players normally would finish them. I also think there's a couple of moments that just really didn't fall our way. It's a guaranteed penalty at the beginning where it's an obvious handball, which the ref has admitted to me afterwards. And then obviously Lucas has been dragged back as well for another penalty, and it just started to feel when those things weren't going our way, and with Harvey and everything on the goal line with absolutely Terry Butcher afterwards, it just started to feel, there wasn't frustration amongst it, but it just felt this isn't our day. And I think we just have to sweep that one under the rug, accept that we've done well, we looked energetic, we looked fit, we kept going to the end, we created a lot of chances, and it's just a day today where it was a 0-0.
From your point of view, obviously with your experience at Dartford and your first competitive season as Margate manager, how tough is it to come away from a game like this knowing that it could have been 2 extra points but it's just the 1 point? How hard is it now to rally the boys up again?
It would be a lot harder if we performed poorly. It would be a lot harder if it was a scrappy 0-0. It wasn't. We did what we want to do at home. We were on the front foot, we were enthusiastic, and we were very creative. So I think when we look at that, there's a lot of positives to take. We only wanted to be walking away with it with 3 points, so that is a negative, and that is something we have to dwell on. And we did a lot of work with finishing on Thursday night, so we know it's there. We scored 16 goals in pre-season in 8 games, so we know there's goals. So that's something that we go again next week. If we do the same performance, let's hope we go and put the 4 or 5 chances away, and then it could be a completely different story.
Just want to touch on Harvey Brand. Obviously it was his first competitive game in a Margate shirt today, and I think he showed a really strong performance. Really went out there and gave 100%. Is that something that you saw from him before signing to Margate? Yeah,
Harvey was a player that obviously worked with Flan at Ashford, and he was captain for the final 15 games, so we knew in his performances, and you can see today that he shows leadership. And I've also got to give Brandon credit, because the pair of them have been absolutely like a massive force in pre-season, and they were the same again today. Played against 4 centre mids today. We obviously worked with a shape to go in and help them, but they were always overloaded and it didn't look like that. So the energy that those two give us and the quality made a big difference. And you know what? We can look at the other side of things and go, it was a shame that no chances fell to them, because the performances they were putting on, you'd probably back them to go and score the goals.
For attendance of 402 today at Hartstown, it's a vast improvement from last season. Do you take sort of credit for that, of the pre-season that we've had and that fans are now coming back to support the boys?
Yeah, I mean, we're so thankful for the support. All the new players are saying how good the support is and how much of a sort of homey feel and a good buzz around the ground. That's the biggest positive thing, and that makes a massive difference. I think that can get us an extra 10 to 15 points a season. And I think today people will leave here, those that were here will leave here very positive. I think you look at the result and you go, that's a missed opportunity, which it is, and we did miss opportunities, but those that saw the game know that was a good team performance. The 5 subs that came on, good performance, they made a positive effect. We kept going till the end, and that's the team that we're going to be this year, and we've proved that in pre-season. We've got a sort of never die attitude, and we keep working towards the end, and we keep creating chances, and I'm looking forward to watching the game back, because I can't believe how many patterns we played and how many good opportunities we created, but it's going to be a tough one to watch when we see we don't score those chances.
We now look ahead to Loxwood in the FA Cup next week, back here at Hartstown Park. Is it a different mindset for these FA Cup games because it's a knockout stage, or is it still the same mindset of going out there and doing what we do?
I think it's still the same. We've got a couple of knocks today, which is frustrating, because when we've done the whole of pre-season we've gone injury free, which is tough to do, and we've had a couple of knocks today, and I don't think there was any malice in them, but frustrating that they've obviously happened. Even when you look at the way Lucas was dragged down in the area, it's tough to take when things don't fall your way after that. So we'll have to manage that this week. We'll have to see where they're at. I think they're going to come and see Graham on Tuesday and see where we're at, and we'll just manage ourselves and we'll go again. I think if we keep putting those performances in, the goals are going to come, and everyone's going to enjoy watching us.
Perfect. Cheers, Ben. Well done, mate.
No worries. Thank you.